Can you tell me about your team day, like with kids, with family, with husband slash manager slash I don't know, whatever else?
I get this often. How do you manage quality time with the family as well as to manage a thriving career and sustaining it too? And first and foremost, I don't think there's an actual answer of how do you balance. You don't really balance, you just do. But having said that, I would owe a lot of it to the fact that one, I have an office studio, so I work from home. We've got an office and a studio at home at the convenience of our homes. That's down below. And then, of course, our living quarters are all upstairs. But I think that helps because I can just be at home and see the kids at the same time. It has its pros and cons, just like how having my husband as my manager has its pros and cons. But mostly more on the pros because of the fact that I was married before. And I had a long distance relationship with my then husband. And maybe I was young, he was young. We were both unsure of our goals at that time. But distance does really keep you apart. And if you are not working on that relationship in making sure that you put a lot of work into nurturing it, especially since it's long distance, it is going to fail. It won't last. And it was the same for Azmi also. In his previous marriage, it was all about work. So it sort of put a distance between him and his then now his ex-wife. And we know that. We know what was the flaw in our relationships. So we don't want that to, I mean, the second time around, you don't want another divorce, right? So we knew that the second time around, we knew I needed to put effort into nurturing the relationship. So having him as my manager was great because, hey, he can't cheat on me because I see you all the time. And I can't do any jack shit because he sees me all the time. The only thing is that because we work together, we're always almost every day together, seeing each other almost every time. We work from home. We basically bring problems from the office to bed, which used to be quite annoying for the first 2 years. Yang sampai bergaduh juga, so I won't deny that. And it took a while for us to adjust and letting go of our work and personal aside. And the same with the kids, because even though I saw my kids, they'll come back from school, they'll come knocking on our office, and then, you know, we'll see them. But because I was so focused on work, I'll just see them for a while, like, yeah. And I'll assume that was my quality time with the kids, but it wasn't because I wasn't sitting down doing homework with them. I didn't know what food they like because my nanny was doing everything. But because I see them, I can tuck them to bed, I see them in the morning, I'll prepare them for breakfast and give them whatever necessary, send them off to school. I thought that was my job done. So again, it was a learning process where I decided, no, you know what, at the end of the day, we need to set aside X amount of time with the kids. So we take turns doing homework with the kids. He's really good at that. He's very patient. Tapi kurun siang mau jadi cikgu tapi saya tiada patience kan. He's very patient in teaching the kids. And when it comes to heart-to-heart conversations, I have more patience in that, and I would actually make an effort to go upstairs to their room. Hey girls, what's going on? This. As opposed to them coming to our office, I would be going to them. And I think that 1 hour of really just sitting down with them, that was more quality time than them being around us in the office area. Maybe 8 hours, they'll be inside and outside, but I'm actually not talking to them. I'm always editing, or I'm doing writing, I'm writing, or I'm memorizing scripts and stuff like that. That was important. I think that was one of the things that we changed. And for Azmi and I, in order for us to have a more strategic, concrete way of dealing with this is work and this is personal, we'll come out here. This is actually our office, our second office, where we will trash things out and get things really done. Because at home, he'll take his time, he'll come down, I'll be from gym, and I'll come down like belum mandi, nanti saya mandi dulu. So we don't have a proper meeting. We'll just swing by our chair and go like, hey, have you done the notes for this? And like, hey, have you done the? No. So now we've set aside like maybe Monday, like today, that's where we come, have a meeting, or stretch a few meetings together, interviews and stuff. Make sure all work is done first, get whatever we need to do. Okay, this month, this week, have we hit our target, And then when we go home, that is where we actually execute our plans. But we have to go outside and have that that working relationship outside, away from home. So going back to the pros and cons of that is it's great because I get to see the family. Now that I found a way around it to having quality time, because even though I'm with the family, I'm not having quality time with them. That's a different thing altogether. And setting aside my time for me, for the family. Weekends are off. If I'm not working, it's strictly for the family, because Monday to Fridays are the kids school, so I can't. Friday, Saturdays and Sundays are mainly family time, and that is the reason why he manages my schedule. It used to be very macam, lain juga kau ni Dev. Kau kenal sudah saya, tapi kau minta juga husband kau yang memanage kau punya time, and I think it's important for him to do that, so that dia pun boleh plan bah, okay, you've got too much on your plate right now because he's giving me work stuff. I'm putting on I want to do my nails, I want to meet my friends, I want to, but then now that I see that he manages all that, then he sees that, okay, it's a balance. He does that, and then I will agree like, okay, begitu. If not, I don't.
Because you go like, okay, today you can have your friends.
No, like he will. So Saturdays and Sundays we try, and unless it's like a family thing where all the family members can go and visit friends, like they've got children, and so it's like a family quality time, that's fine. But let's say I wanted to go and meet my friends and it was just the both of us, if we really can't get out of it, because there's some friends that you're committed to sustain and nurture a relationship also. I think that's also important for our well-being, to have friends and good companions around you. So what we do is we spend like really quality time in the morning and afternoon, and at night time we have our friends, or a date night now, Most of the time is with the family, but like this last weekend, we spent really like with the kids. But malam tu we went out with some friends, and I'm going to be supporting my celebs for Hani and Atilia are participating in this reality show. So I told him, I said, look, it's jarang drum. I mean, this is something that I don't go out often, but I want to go and support my girls. And this is a reality show that they might be booted out on this episode. I need to go and see them and give my support, show my support. So he's okay with that. But yeah, he literally does schedule and everything, mostly related to work and holidays, because it's great, because now that we have this understanding, we have a better way of communicating. Also because I read a lot of books about how we used to get annoyed with each other because I assume he can read my mind. I know, I'm sorry, most women do that because you've been inside me, surely you can feel you're in tune with my feelings. No. So I had to speak up, and then even when I speak up, I'm very long-winded, as you can see from this interview. I'm very long-winded, so I like to share story, ABC, but he's like, and your point is, and I used to get so annoyed, and he'd go like, why are you so cold? That's why I need to go and see my friends now. I am not better to my friends, and you don't really listen to me. But then I realized, dia punya character memang macam tu. He is so goal-oriented. He is such I want my solution now. And it's not a bad thing. And that's why we balance out each other. It's just that I like to go here, I like to go and say, hello people, what's up with you? I'm a people person, whereas he's very cold in that sense where like, you see just now like, okay, we've got this, we've got that, let's get the objective done. You want to get your interview, she needs to finish her, we've got another one.
Yeah.
So you see what I mean? He's very like, and I'm going like, oh, I don't mind a drink, I'll get it for you. You do your work. You get this interview done, I'll go get her stuff done. So he's very like that. So for me, at those days, I didn't understand. I'm like, you're so cold, like you're tall. And he said, no, why? And then when I read more about this, he said his goal macam, ya lah, kau mau interview, you want your orange juice, I get it done for you guys. Tak lah, kau tim lah. But for me, like, we must jaga hati dulu. Hey, what's up? And that's where he learns. He's getting a bit from me, and I'm learning to be a little bit more straightforward. But you have to understand your partner. Why is he or she like that? And then it's easier. I'm gonna just stray one more time, a little bit more. When we first started dating, I was so into my community work. I ran, I did my yoga, I was so active. 3 years ago, when my father passed away, I decided I wanted to do a half marathon to raise funds for the hospice, because one of the things that I regretted was the fact that my father's last few days, we weren't able to get him palliative care because there was just not enough beds. So I remember, I think only the last 2 days only, dia mau meninggal sudah, baru dia ada a decent room. Before that, he passed, and it was really sad lah. He was in a government hospital, and we just couldn't get him a place. So I was very determined to run my half marathon to raise funds. And at that point, si Azmi bilang, what lah? I said I'm going to be raising funds for hospice. But he didn't think that I would actually go through with the bloody marathon, right? He said, like, you're not ready. What if you die? What if you've not been training? And I said, well, I can't kutip derma from people and not run. I don't think that's ethical. And he said, like, you're already doing something good for the people. You've already collected it. Your niyat was there. But if you're not ready, you need to be good. You need to be healthy for the next few. You've got kids to think about, you know. And he was very, and we fought big, like huge. We fought so big. And I said, my father died. You saw how dad's the place was deplorable. It's horrible. And he said this. He said, I can't keep up with you. I said, what? I can't keep up with you. I'm 50 years old. I'm 10 years older than you. I can't keep up with you. And I'm like, I'm not asking you to run with me. And he said, that's just it. I can't be with you there. I can't be there for you. I can't protect you. And I'm like, and then saya punya feminist datang yang, I don't need no protection. You think I cannot look after myself? When you married me, I was already running. I was doing yoga. I was doing this. He said, like, no. Then baru dia communicate. I'm afraid that you will. I'm afraid that you won't love me anymore because I'm not keeping up with you. I'm not as energetic as you. Dulu boleh lah masa time kita dating that 10 years ago, I could still keep up with your community work. I could keep up with your seikut sejak kamu pergi bangun pukul 7 pagi pergi tanam bunga, tanam the replanting of the forest. We go to some Timbuktu area. I could still keep up with you. Right now I cannot. I'm just too tired. I'm aging. My body's and I'm scared that you won't love me anymore because I can't keep up with you. Terus saya macam, kenapa kau tidak cakap macam tu? I just thought you're being such a protective and control freak. Saya bilang kan, because you're like my manager. And people thought that he was like, oh, he controls you. And I used to, kau dengar orang kan, macam, he controls me. Oh my God. Padahal, I said, if you had told me this earlier, I would have understood. You said like, but you should know what? You know how I am what? And I said, no, I don't know how you are. So, communication, you think that it's good, you learn, and you have to work at your relationship every single day. And I've learned also, now that we're married for 10 years, that the relationships that you want to focus on, you have to prioritize those. So I've learned to let go of relationships that don't nurture me anymore, that may be toxic to me, and I've always tried to sustain it thinking, what sort of a friend or what sort of a relative would I be if I neglect this relationship, even though it was bringing me down. It was causing me distress because they weren't giving as much love or input to the relationship as I was. And it used to hurt me a lot because my expectations were this high. I've learned that at the end of the day, really just focus that quality time with those you really need to. In my case, it would be my immediate family and friends who have been there since day one. That's more important, and I think that has helped me move on with a lot of things that were toxic in my life.
Thank you for sharing. Oh my God. I wanted to ask any final words you can give Samahans, but that is, I think right now in my environment right now is the problem. Communication in a house, in a home, doesn't matter if you're husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, grandparents. It's always goes down to talking and expressing yourself to your
communicating.
Yeah.
And sometimes the people that you think should matter don't matter. I thought I had to be in the good books of my in-laws, but I realized that complete non-related, non-blood related family members were more family to me and him than those considered family, you know what I mean? So focus on those people. Focus on the good. I think that's really important. Focus on yourself. You will know what is good for you. You know when God has given us such a beautiful gift that when you find that niggling, that ding, 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 listen to it, because it is really something telling you, stay away. And I've learned that now. And it's so good to acknowledge it and to just accept it so that you move on faster.
Any last words? I don't know if that's even necessary. Young parents, young couples, everything young. Or what do they need to go through, or what mistakes can they make or cannot? Whatever. I mean, just.
I stress this a lot because it's so important for young couples out there who plan to get married. Please do go through a premarital course or have someone come in to talk about the options that you have in the future. Most, like mine, learned that the hard way, most relationships fail because you fail to address certain important, pertinent issues. Finances. What are your goals? What are your ideas on parenting? How many children do you want? Do you want any children? Whose house are you going to be going for Raya or Christmas this year? These are things that small issues yang jadi petty, but can lead up to a really bad breakup, you know. And that is the reason why most marriages go astray, because when you're not communicating, you then communicate with someone else, a third party, and that's where emotions get involved. Sometimes physical, sexual intimacy also takes place, and that's where that's how most marriages fall apart. I used to be so angry at my ex because when I found out what I found out, until it hit me that at the end of the day I was partially to be blamed because I wasn't there for him. I was so too independent on my beliefs and my goals that I neglected his. And that is the reason why I strongly believe that couples will need to work it out, because I'm not saying that if you have different ideologies or ideas on how parenting should be, finances should be, your goals should be, where should you stay and stuff like that, but you need to talk it out. You don't talk it out when it's already like you've cemented your foundation. It's not going to be the end of the world, but at least you've talked about it and sort of compromise. To couples who are already married, it is when children come into the picture, sex is not going to be the same. Women are going to be a bit more tired, or some men, I know some men who I've consulted or counseled, they've been so scarred by the birth of their child, dorang takut bangun tengok the vagina. Like they've seen the whole baby coming out from the vagina, and there's so much trauma, and they're not able to express that. So they aren't able to have sex or have intimacy with their wife. But they can't actually say like, sebab saya nampak tu baby keluar dari botol, macam saya takut mau pergi papan. But these are real traumatic issues and it needs to be addressed. So you need to talk about it and set realistic expectations. For me and my husband even, you know, there was one point where it was a dry season and we decided we need to set a date for our intimate sessions. And that was important for him because, please go and read this, The Language of Love. There are 5 different languages of love. There's a book about it where everyone has a different meaning to what love means to them. It could be about service, it could be about intimacy, touch and stuff like that. So for him it was all about touch and intimacy. For me, I'm happy with a cuddle, you know. But he wanted the full-blown thing because that's how he would be close to me. For me, it was more of acts of services. So if you bring me coffee, I'm like, oh my God, thank you, oh my God, I love you. You know, it was different. So now that I understand his language of love and he understands my language of love and he's able to express what I want and I'm supposed to express, it helps. And naturally the intimacy will grow from there. Trust me guys, it's going to be different right after the babies especially coming. If your sex life is awesome still, woohoo, good on you guys, keep it up. But it will falter, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid if your intimacy level has dropped a little bit. but don't ever stop communicating. I think just hold hands, pray is so important, and that's what I can say to young parents out there, couples out there. Yeah.
Daphne, thank you. Ponsico,
Ponsico, thank you for having me.
thank you very
I'm sorry
much.
I'm long-winded. Good luck editing this.
I'll just throw in everything.